This is Ed Dickerson for Thinkers, Not Reflectors. And today I'm going to talk about a common misconception that you hear a lot of times talk to homeschoolers. People will say, how are you going to teach your children the difficult subjects? How are you going to teach them calculus or chemistry or whatever it is they think that you don't know? And this is something that we meet all the time. In fact, there's a video running around on YouTube of a PhD in education, and he says that he thinks it's impossible for homeschooling to be effective for the simple reason that he has never met anybody who knows everything necessary to teach all the courses required in high school. It's kind of surprising when I see people with PhDs in education who say such things, because this is based on a faulty model of education. However, I have to admit, every state law is also based on that faulty model. And that model was called, when I was in graduate school many years ago, the mug and the jug theory. And it's basically this. You, if you'll pardon the pun, come to school as the empty mug, eager to learn, open, receptive, ready. The teacher is the jug, full of all sorts of marvelous knowledge and wisdom. And every day, the jug imparts this knowledge and wisdom into the mug that he receives it. The mug goes home at night, apparently digests all this perfectly, because the next day they're open again and ready for more instruction. And that's the mug and the jug theory. You see, in this theory, the student is the mug, the teacher is the jug. And so, if the jug doesn't know it, if the teacher doesn't know physics or doesn't know particle physics or whatever, then they can't teach it. That's the mug and the jug theory. And all state laws are based on that, because all state laws are based on teacher certification. That is to say, what the jug knows. The problem with this is, well, frankly, it just doesn't work. That isn't the way things are. The theory that I prefer, the model that I prefer for learning, is one that I call the bowl and the spoon. With the bowl and the spoon model, what you do is you teach children how to learn, and you teach them how to access the world of information. Just as when they learn with this bowl and spoon how to eat, and they eat food that you don't eat, they also can learn things that you have never learned. In my own life, I know this is true. I've seen it exactly happen with my own children who were homeschooled. When my son advanced into his late teenage years, he decided that he wanted to learn how to fix small engines. Now, he couldn't come to dear old Dad, because when it comes to understanding small engines, Dad's jug is pretty empty. I know two things about small engines. The first one is you pull the cord. The second one is usually you cuss in frustration because it didn't work, didn't turn on. Wherever he was going to learn about small engines, it wasn't going to be from dear old Dad, because I didn't know it. But of course, I had taught him according to the bowl and spoon theory. He knew how to learn. He knew how to access the world of information. And so he found books. This was before the internet was big. And he found people who did this job, and they were quite willing to share and explain to him things he didn't know. And very soon, he was picking up things that hadn't worked, sometimes for 5 or 6 years. They'd never worked, and he would have them running in no time at all. He didn't learn that from dear old Dad. And anyway, that's the whole point of education, is that you don't want them to be forever dependent upon the jug. You don't want them to be able to learn only the things that their teachers know. True success comes when they're able to learn things for themselves, and they don't need the teacher anymore. And so, when next time you hear that objection about not being able to teach the hard subjects because you haven't been trained in them, remember the mug and the jug, and especially the bowl and the spoon. Because once they know how to learn and know how to access the world of information, they can learn all kinds of things, and they won't be dependent upon you anymore. That's it for today. But remember, the future belongs to thinkers, not to mere reflectors of other men's thoughts. Thanks, and see you next time.